Here are some horror stories. One time, my mom found a creepy doll in the attic. It had a note that said, "Don't play with me." So of course she took it downstairs to show my dad. But when she turned around, the doll was on the floor and it looked like it was crying. Then they started hearing footsteps in the attic and they ran away. Another time, my brother and I were playing video games and I heard my name being called. And then I heard it again. My brother and I looked at each other and then we started screaming and throwing controllers. And then we both ran away. And another time, my sister was home alone and she heard a knock on the window. She opened the curtains and there was no one there. But when she closed the curtains, she saw a shadowy figure standing outside the window. And then it started raining and the figure walked away. Here are some horror stories. One time my mom found a dead bird in our backyard. And she was like, "Hey, you want to see something really gross?" And she showed me the bird's eye. Like right up close. And I was like, and then she put the bird down and it flew away. I was like, "Mom, that was so disrespectful to the dead bird. Why would you do that?" And she was like, "I didn't do anything. You were the one who said you..." And then we started arguing and she was like, "You little animal rights activist?" And then I was like, "Well, you're the one who's being an animal rights activist." And then she was like, "Shut up, you dirty animal." And then I was like, "No, you shut up." And then she slapped me. And I was like, "OW." And then I ran away. That reminds me of this other time when I was younger and I was playing in the backyard. And I saw this big, like, gray blob in the grass. And it was like, "What is that?" And my mom was like, "Don't ask me." So I went up to it and I poked it and it was like, and then it moved again and it was like, "Oh." And then I ran inside and I told my mom, "You gotta come see this." And she was like, "What? What is it?" And I was like, "I don't know what it is, but it S in the grass and it S like gray and it S like moving really slow." And I was like, "Dead raccoon, moving really slow in the grass." And she was like, "Yeah, raccoons do that when they're alive." And then I was like, "Oh, okay." And then I went back outside and I was like, "Hi, little rat. Here are some horror stories. I used to work in a hospital as a nurse. One time I was working the night shift, and we had this one patient who kept coming in every night. Same time, 3 a.m., and he would tell me the same story every single night about how he was chased through the woods by a bear and how the bear was trying to kill him. And then he would wake up screaming in the middle of the night. One night I was working with a new nurse and I told her about this patient, and she said, "Oh no, I think I know what's going on here." She goes, I said, "Yeah, I go hiking back there all the time." She says, "Well, that S where all the homeless people hang out, and they like to scare people and steal their stuff." So we decided to go check it out. We went back there after our shift, and sure enough, there was a tent and a fire pit, and some homeless guy was sitting there waiting for us.